What is up, everybody? This is Sam, Sammy33, whatever you like to call me. Coming back, it's Sunday. We all know what today is, Money in the Bank. Some are excited, some are not. I understand wherever you may fall on this scale. But I am here today to give you my predictions on what happens. Also a warning, something to note. Now that I'm getting familiarized with Premiere Pro, maybe not next week, but the week after, I'd expect to see some changes in how the video looks. Probably will run the same, but you'll see some other graphics and stuff look a lot nicer. Looking forward to actually getting these implemented in video. It's been a lot of fun messing around with it so far. One thing, while I haven't been feeling good, I've been able to kind of work on that stuff on the side, get familiarized with the program. It's nice. But that's not why you're here. You're here for my predictions. So, before we get started, let me go ahead. I had it loaded earlier, but it disappeared on me. I'm trying to get the card back up. But while I'm getting that, I'll just say it's going to be a really interesting pay-per-view because I'm not used to seeing, we had the Boneyard match, we had the Firefly Funhouse, and now we are getting something really different, creative-wise, with it being in the corporate building. Something else creatively that can be a lot of fun, and those things are actually going to be cool to me. I think that's something that's really interesting that they're able to do. Again, without the quarantine, this doesn't happen. It happens live. Some of the spots are different, obviously, but because you can do this and go completely outside of the norm, it leads to potentially some really cool spots. That said, I'm gonna need to get some sleep here soon, but let's go and pull up this card. So, pre-show, 2 matches. First, MVP versus R-Truth. It's funny because I could have swore I heard MVP say on Raw a couple of weeks ago that he was just having one match and that was it, and now he keeps having matches. Quarantine may be affecting this. But, who gets the win here? Who needs to win? Really, neither one needs to win. I don't think anyone's jumping up on the card at all. I am gonna just say that R-Truth gets the win just solely for the fact that MVP has been pretty much losing since he's came back. You know how it is, the old guard putting over the new guard. So, technically R-Truth's not new, but MVP's an older guy. It would be nice to see him get a win, but I just feel R-Truth gets the win. Maybe he starts to push back into the 24/7, 365, whatever title picture. I forget what R-Truth calls it these days. The other pre-show match is really interesting to me. I think it'll be a good match. I don't like who's going to win, and I'll tell you why. Jeff Hardy and Cesaro. Hardy has issues with Sheamus. So, to me, I think either Sheamus interferes, Hardy wins, or because he eventually is going to feud with Sheamus, he beats Cesaro. Let's not forget, Cesaro is a former member of the Bar Partners, so this is a way of him being able to beat Cesaro and showing, hey, I'm a worthy opponent. We all know I've talked about it before. I've probably talked about it on stream a couple times. I'm a big fan of Cesaro. I don't like that he doesn't get this big singles push. I think that he has the it factor. But unfortunately, Cesaro just doesn't get it. Really solid wrestler. I think it'll be the better of the 2 pre-show matches for sure. I actually think it'll be one of the better matches on the night. But I see Jeff Hardy getting the win to set up a feud with Sheamus in the very near future. Then we have our matches. So, by my counts, if I missed something, I apologize. I thought there might be a Raw Tag Team title match, but assuming there's not. We have 6 matches on the card. 2 heavyweight title matches. The women's title match. And then SmackDown Tag Titles in a Fatal 4-Way, and then the Money in the Bank matches, which will be at the same time. So essentially, I guess 5 matches, but 6 winners. So it'll be different. Let's start with the tag titles and work our way up. So we have the Forgotten Sons, Morrison Miz, Lucha House Party, and then the champs, the New Day. Forgotten Sons getting a little bit of a push right now on SmackDown. Has kind of bummed that Miz and Morrison lost the titles. Right after Mania. Lucha House Party's just there for the sake of being there, have some cool spots, I'm sure. I don't see them winning. It's not an elimination match, so the odds are stacked against the New Day. But I see the New Day retaining. I think the Forgotten Sons will, they're getting a push now, but I feel like if they're going to be serious about them, they will push them once we return back to quote-unquote normalcy. I think that not yet. They're just new on the scene. I wouldn't want to put the tag titles on them yet. The New Day, they're working every week. Let them keep the titles. I honestly would rather see Miz and Morrison win if someone new wins. But I see the New Day retaining. Kofi and Big E just keep doing what they're doing, and then down the road we maybe see a title change if it's going to be the Forgotten Sons. Lucha House Party's just there. Like I said, there'll be some cool spots. I don't see them winning. I don't see them pulling the trigger just yet, in my opinion. I'm going to stick with the New Day for now. I know I've had the tag titles a lot, but I'm going to stick with them. We have the women's title match on SmackDown. So Bayley threw Sasha out at Tamina to have her earn a title shot, which she does. So Bayley against Tamina. Clearly this is a mismatch, but let's be honest. Just want to ask a question to you guys. When is the last time that Tamina has won back-to-back matches? Like, if we take 2020 out the equation, when she was healthy, when's the last time we actually saw Tamina get wins and string together wins? Alright, Bayley wins. Don't know how, don't know if it's by hook or by crook, but Bayley retains the title. I would love... And I think we're all waiting for Sasha to turn on Bayley. I mean, let's be honest, we're all waiting for it at this point. Not yet. Maybe soon, but not yet. But Bayley's going to retain. If she wasn't dropping the belt at Mania, I don't see her dropping the belt to Tamina right now. So her title reign continues. We have our 2 heavyweight title matches, or I say heavyweight because I normally regard those as the heavyweight titles. I know this is WWE Championship and the Universal, so I'll go with the WWE Championship first. So we have a newly crowned Drew McIntyre facing the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. Good promo by Rollins. I love it. I love this character. Like, I will be the first to admit I'm not Mr. Religion. I'm not a very religious guy. So I love this preachiness because I see how it can irk the audience and get under their skin and, basically rile them up and get a reaction. And as a, being in the ring with Drew, Drew, I'm sure it's really annoying to hear someone constantly preaching and almost talking down to you. So I love that promo that he cut during the contract signing. I know they have, it's just the way it started. It's kind of weird. You lose to Kevin Owens and then you come out and you stomp him next week and then boom, you're in the title picture. And isn't it supposed to be the other way around? You win to build up to being a worthy contender? Nah, whatever. But as Drew said, Seth's very decorated champion. He has been one of the faces of Raw for the last 5 years. So to be in this situation, to have a match against Seth, while big picture he may not necessarily be worthy of a championship match, given what he has meant to Raw for the last 5 years, I think this bodes well for Drew because a win against Seth is going to help solidify. So something I've talked about before with Bayley, I feel like Bayley's reign hasn't been memorable because she doesn't have those moments. Sure, she beat Charlotte, but outside of Charlotte, it's been really her opponents haven't helped make it feel like a legitimized reign. Like, it's a title reign but it feels hollow because she just hasn't had those matches or those moments when we look back on this 10 years to remember, other than her turning heel. Seth, a win with Drew, you knock off Brock Lesnar, the top of the mountain, the big bully, the guy that no one likes, Mr. Part-Time, and then you turn around and your first real title defense is going to be against Seth Rollins, who's been the face of Raw for the last 5 years. Already, like I said, starting out on a good note, getting a memorable match, a memorable opponent, and we'll remember, retain. There's no reason to me to feel otherwise. Drew's going to retain, and I feel like he's going to it's the start of his momentum building. Other side, going to SmackDown, we have also newly crowned Braun Strowman. I know people weren't thrilled about the match at Mania. Hey, Goldberg doesn't have the title. Just take your blessings when you can get them, right? You have him defending against his dad, his father, his originator, his creator, Bray Wyatt, aka The Fiend. I've loved the promos, especially the gift of the black sheep mask while he was in the, being interviewed by Alexa and Nikki. Bray is just masterful in everything he does in terms of promos. I love it. This match to me is a little bit harder, and I feel two ways. I feel conflicted. One, obviously things have changed because of the coronavirus, because I think we all got the feeling that Reigns was going to beat Goldberg. So it was a way of Reigns being able to get the championship without taking it off of The Fiend. Though not popular, I understand why they may have looked to do that, because if Reigns beats The Fiend, it pisses a lot of people off. At least by him losing the belt to Goldberg and then having Reigns beat Goldberg, you don't get the double, because I feel like people would still be mad with Reigns wouldn't being the champion. But you're less upset because he's taken off of Goldberg. So you're taking off of a part-time and putting it onto a guy that you're going to invest in. We don't know how things turn out because, Reigns, as we all know, has been documented, hasn't been there. I feel Braun wins, but I also get the feeling that Braun's a transitional champion. I mean, he won the Intercontinental Championship, and I thought that'd be a lengthy reign, and then he drops that belt pretty quick. I just get the feeling that Braun's a transitional champ, and he's only holding it really until Reigns gets back. But I think Braun holds on to it until Reigns gets back. So then we have, obviously I'm saying that Braun is going to beat The Fiend, but then we have the awkwardness of, can The Fiend handle another loss? I feel like this is a conversation that happens after Money in the Bank, and I'm going to save it for then. My short answer is yes. My long answer is I'm pretty sure he can. I think Braun wins. I get the feeling people may not be happy with that because he is probably the most over character in the WWE right now. So it's going to be hard for him to take another loss. Braun is a monster among men. It is a respectable loss depending on how it plays out. We'll watch and see, but I'm going to say Braun. Don't beat me up, guys. And that leaves us with two matches, the obvious matches, the Money in the Bank. So men's side, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, Dan Bryan, King Corbin, Otis, and Apollo Crews, replaced by the Last Gauntlet winner, Last Chance winner, returning AJ Styles, returning from the dead. I'm sure the OC dug him out before, he was in there for too long. Take care of your buddy. On the women's side, we have Nia, returning Nia Jax, Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, and Carmella. And as documented before, this will be in the corporate building, starts on the ground floor, the ladder on the roof, briefcases hanging above. Winner takes all, and both matches are going on at the same time. A contract that can cash in for a championship match anytime, anywhere, over the next 365, 66 days. It's a leap year. So, this match is a little bit tougher because, one, you have to think about this in two ways. One, who needs the belt or who needs the briefcase? Two, when do you want to pull the trigger? And this is why I say this. If you're going to pull the trigger soon, you give it to someone who's going to be wrestling during this pandemic. Because I believe stage 4 is the last stage, or stage 3 in some case. I want to say it's stage 4 across the board, where they're going to actually have live events. If we're going to be wrestling without an audience for the foreseeable future, let's just throw out a time to say, as we near SummerSlam. If that's the case, if you want to pull the trigger before, it's a way to get the belt off of Braun, or a way to get the belt off of Drew to build for another storyline. In Drew's case, to build for another storyline. In Braun's case, just, hey, we got the belt, we put the belt on you to get it off of Goldberg, but we want to do something long term, so we're going to take it off of you, just potentially to build for someone else to win the belt later. It has to be someone that's wrestling now, actively, and is going to continue to be. Or are you going to project into the future when everything returns to normal? This is something we're going to have an ace in the hole storyline-wise to pull out. I'm going to start with the women's side first. I don't think Shayna wins this match. And I feel like a lot of people I've talked to feel that she does. The reason why is because she doesn't need it. She's worthy of getting a rematch with Becky. I don't think that she needs to go this route in order to do so. So that eliminates her. Does Asuka need it? What's happening with her and Kairi Sane? Still tag team? What's going on there? I don't think she does either. Again, I think she's worthy of being in the championship picture, and most times without having the title. Eliminates too. The one that intrigues me is Dana Brooke. And I feel like Money in the Bank does this sometimes, because what Edge, CM Punk, past winners, Mr. Kennedy, even though he dropped, the injury, and he ended up dropping it to Edge, so essentially to be on someone that can wrestle. Established or new? Dana intrigues me because Dana is someone that really hasn't got a push. If she were to win this match, it would give her that push that she needs to build up into eventually becoming a champion. But with that said, the one that I'm going to go with is Nia. I don't really like this pick because, again, I don't think Nia needs it. As long as Becky is the champ, that feud hasn't necessarily happened yet, and I think that's a good way to take the belt off of Becky if that's the way you want to go. To me, there's one of two ways. You can go down the Shayna road, or you can go down the Nia road. We all assume that at some point Nia will have a feud with Becky. Why not have it where because let's be honest, Nia has clearly the biggest advantage of any, and she's the biggest of the females. She's the strongest. She's got the huge advantage. Her using that briefcase to take advantage of Becky in a vulnerable situation and building to them having a feud. It's a way of going about it. I don't like that, but I'm going to go with Nia. If I had to choose someone else, it would be Dana, just because she is really the only one of this group I feel that has not been given a push. And I would like to see what they do with her if she is able to have one. Flipping the table, we go to the men's side. Daniel Bryan's not going to win. As much as it pains me to say, Daniel Bryan's not going to win. Why would he? He's been a multi-time champion. He's been a former Money in the Bank winner. I just don't think he needs it. Him and Gulak potentially can go down that road of being a tag team. Hey, them against the New Day, them against the Usos. There's a lot to do with those two guys. So I'm going to stay away from that. Though I do like Bryan being in this match because it helps give it star power. Good promo by him 2 weeks ago as well. Aleister Black, he's already being pushed. He doesn't necessarily need it. It'd be nice, but he doesn't necessarily need it. He's been undefeated since he's been pushed on Raw, since he's been over there. Heyman's taking good care of him. Doesn't necessarily need that. Corbin, he's had it before. He's failed. John Cena, I believe. He would be the one that would be the funniest to win because he gets so much heat already. He's coming off of losing a big feud to Roman Reigns. He's coming off of losing to Elias at WrestleMania. He could use a jump start. He's a heel. He's going to continue to get the heat once everything is back to normal. I would not mind him winning this match, and him being champion would probably annoy me, but as it would everyone else, but it does make sense. He's a heel. This is what heels do. But the guy that I'm going to look for to win this match is AJ Styles. And why? Because it's star power. AJ's coming back, he can win it. I think Drew's going to have a long title reign, thus him and AJ can be pushed far to the back of the line. AJ cashes in at a key time, way down the road, wins the title, and then there's a feud right there. I don't think AJ necessarily needs it. He loses to The Undertaker in a Boneyard match. It's one of those things where a loss to Taker at WrestleMania does not hurt you at all. Regardless of how it happens, it doesn't hurt you because it's The Undertaker's WrestleMania. It is what it is. But I feel this is a chance for AJ to build some momentum, seeing how he's going to be kind of, going solo for a bit. I think this is a really good opportunity for him to kind of turn around, because he was in the mid-card picture, and now he's gonna turn, unless there's another wrestler that he potentially has a feud with, which I can see. I think that'd be like a dream match. But I don't know if we go down that road for SummerSlam. Anyway, but he can still have that with winning the belt, or winning the briefcase. We'll see. I think it'll be an entertaining match. I'm really hopeful that there are some cool spots that we wouldn't see. Maybe see Vince's office, Triple H and Stephanie's office. Even better, something has to happen with catering. Like, let's be honest. Something has to happen with catering. Why would it be catering in a building no one's using? I don't know. Don't ask me. But I feel like anytime there's something backstage, that's the first thing I look for is food. Because it always makes for some entertainment. This would have went longer than I thought. But I don't know who else I would pick to win this match. From the men's side, looking at the guys. Otis, no, he's in a tag team. Corbin, I can see because of Hill. Daniel, I mean, I could see how, but I feel like they're going to go down the road with him and Gulak because there's a lot that you can do with them. And it gives Gulak an opportunity to do stuff on SmackDown as well. They work well together. If you've seen their promos, they play off each other really well. Ray, contract signing. I don't believe he's re-signed or hasn't been officially announced, and his contract's up in a few months. I just don't see anyone else because I don't think Black needs it. And I feel like AJ, this is a chance for him to come back and start making an impact right away. Because, I mean, let's be on an impact. But let's be honest, why would they bring AJ back for this match if he wasn't going to play a significant role in the future, because they could have just let him sit out a little bit longer, really play up the fact that he's buried alive. I feel like the fact they brought him back, some say it's for star power. I think it's because he's going to win. That's just my opinion. So to recap, women's side, Nia. Backup, Izzy Dana Brooke. Men's side, AJ. Backup, King Corbin. New Day retains. Bayley retains. Seth and Braun retain. So no title changes. And then in the pre-show, Hardy wins to set up a feud with Sheamus. And R-Truth wins because he's just more an active wrestler than MVP is. I think MVP, he's transitioning backstage. He doesn't need the win. I would give it to R-Truth. And like I said, whatever you're going to do with Gronkowski not being the 24/7 champ, I think that's a win that can kind of start pushing him back towards that, since that's what he's been doing. But thanks for watching, guys. Sorry it went longer than planned. Enjoy the pay-per-view. I'll be streaming after. We'll talk about it. I've got nothing else. I would say, subscribe. I still have to figure out the timing of all that, but hey, like the video if you like the content. Comment below who you think. If you have differing opinions with me, this will be posted pretty closely to the pay-per-view, so maybe a little bit harder. Why is this dog barking so early? What the heck? Anyway, enjoy the pay-per-view, and I'll see you guys later.